Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture. Today we're going over RAYE's first album called Euphoric Sad Songs. So RAYE is a London-based pop singer slash kind of R&B. She kind of in EDM too. She kind of bounces between stuff. I came across her. I feel like I came across her earlier than I'm saying. Like I feel like technically I came across her with the song Jack Strong's song You Don't Know Me, but I feel like I knew her before that. She had I don't know, I can't think of the first song that I got into her, but I definitely got into her, and since then I watched her like feature in all these different songs, had her own songs going through. She released a mixtape, or not mixtape, she was released an EP called Side Tape, came out in 2018 with a song that I really liked called Cigarette, and I really loved that song. And since then, I followed her with Love Me Again, All of My Love, which I really like. I understand it wasn't on this, but I think there's a agenda with this album, so it makes sense for it not to be there. But I really like the song. And yeah, she's worked with Major Lazer, Mabel. She's worked with Jonas Blue. So yeah, so this album itself was supposed to be had its own agenda with the whole 7 stages of grief, pretty much doing a whole thing that like this album was supposed to help her heal her broken heart, pretty much. And this album is definitely goes through those stages. It definitely goes through a lot of familiar stages too. So I'm gonna break it down and talk about my favorite songs as well, and also talk about the idea of the agenda that she was going with this album, from my perspective. So of what I think it might be. So going off, due to the fact that 7 stages of grief, I thought I'd immediately start off with like, okay, so you're going through the natural stages of grief, which is denial, depression, anger, bargaining, acceptance. So in this direction, it doesn't seem to go in that exact order, and at the same time it does. So you have Love Me Again, where she tries to get back with him, and with this ex, and she's like, is there something I can do to make you love me again? And it does sound like bargaining, so you think like, oh, we're really jumping into bargaining immediately. And I think that's maybe what she was doing, but it starts off like that. She's like, you're the only one you're the only love that I know. Others often hands, or I wrote that really sloppy, but pretty much others try to touch her, but it doesn't feel the same. Her body feels cold. Or my body goes cold. So obviously nothing's working when she flirts with other guys or do stuff with other guys. It doesn't really hit right as the same as the guy that she was with earlier. So, and then it goes into Change Your Mind, where it also feels like it's more bargaining, but also questioning everything. So in this direction, I feel like she's saying that she pretty much is trying to ask, she's like, well, in one of the quotes she says, you said I was perfect. What made you change your mind? So I think in this direction, she pretty much is asking, what changed? Where did we go wrong? How could you say that I was perfect, but now you don't believe that anymore? Kind of thing. And it obviously feels like another grab at bargaining, because it's just, the answer is pretty clear. The answer is very direct. Like, it has nothing to do with him changing his mind. I think it has more to, in my perspective of seeing from what she's saying, it seems like it's not the fact that he changed his mind, it's more the fact that the love fade out into the part where he did end up have his mind changed, so where maybe you're not perfect for me, kind of thing. And maybe she is perfect in that situation that they were in, but I also believe that different points, certain people change over time, you know? So, but one thing she does talk about, she's like, got my cheek pressed to the floor, my girls have to peel me off of it right now. So it feels like it's seeping into depression as the same time. Then go into Regardless, which is a really good song. It pretty much has the interpolating of lyrics of, I hope I pronounce this right, Io's Rapture song that came out in 2001. So So yeah, so this one I feel I wrote down denial, but I don't think it's denial. I think it's just more into depression because she says like you're always on my mind, however or somehow whether we're up or down regardless. So it seems like she's still in even after everything, she still sees him in her mind and definitely doesn't like it, but it just happens. It's an automatic thing whether she wants it or not. Going into secrets, which I don't think this has to do with anything technically, but I really, really do like the song featuring Regard. This song is actually Regard's song featuring her, but I reversed it because it's on her album. So this song is really, really nice. I love the sound. I love the EDM sound too. I love the bass. I just love everything about it. And it's pretty much saying, it's like, I don't know about you, about you, about you. There's something in his eyes. He's keeping secrets. Don't really think that has anything to do with her agenda in this, but I think it was one of those really popular songs that she added onto here. And it does lightly, I feel like it does lightly go with the album, but not entirely. So there's that. Then we go into Natalie Don't, which is I didn't really care for, but I did like the idea of it. It also it's also interpolated by I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. So you definitely hear that in the background, and it sounds really, really familiar that way. In this direction, it seems like there is another woman who is thinking of flirting with her man, her ex. In this one, it makes it seem like it's her man, but I also feel like it's. I can't tell if she's going backwards, saying like, "Oh, in our relationship, this girl was looking to get with you, and I begged her not to." Like I was like, "Please, please, please, don't do it." You know, very Jolene. But it also kind of makes me feel like it's like, well, I know this song was very popular as well, but it also makes me feel like it does take it back from where she was going, but no need to worry because we get right back into the agenda. So going into All Dressed Up, which is a really, really sad song, but it's really, really it's so valid for the switch back into where she's talking about her like heart and everything. So in this one, she pretty much says like, I get all dressed up to go ahead and let myself down. So you can just hold me like my stressed skin tight. In this one, she's pretty much looking for she ultimately wants full on love, but she keeps on finding temporary love with like guys at the bar and we hook up and do that. But then it just like doesn't really seem like there's nothing really, once again, it doesn't hit right the same way the other guy did it. So, she also is moving away. You also see that she's moving away from the ex in general. It's more just her. It's just like, I'm not really finding what I'm looking for. So, but I'll keep on doing this. Who else is next? Kind of thing. And one thing that really shined on this one was that she says, like the dress I wear on a Saturday, it's a Tuesday, but I won't tell if you don't. And I think in that direction, it's pretty much a dig at herself, saying it's like, yeah, this is not I'm dressing up like a Saturday night, but it's a Tuesday night, and I'm doing this kind of routine. So it's obviously, this is going on, I'm going out more than just Saturday, more than just like, and like I'm treating this Tuesday like a Saturday night, and still having this type of feel. And it's kind of sad, but it's also just like, I hope you find somebody kind of thing. And then it goes into Please Don't Touch, and this one actually is more of that, follows up with All Dressed Up, where she does find temporary like feels and stuff like that. But in this direction, she definitely starts to find a guy that she really connects with. But she's due to her last relationship, she's very skeptical. So she has this thing where she says, please don't touch if you don't mean it. But once you lay a finger, it cannot be undone. So pretty much saying she's like, I feel a lot of feelings for you. So if you go further than this, I'm going to fall even deeper into you. So please be sure if you want to touch me this way and be that, because you're going to fall into a space where you're going to have to like reciprocate this feelings with me, And one thing that she does a call back with, I don't want to call you 3 a.m. begging you to love me again, which is a callback to the very first song where she's bargaining with the ex and pretty much saying, she's like, I don't want to have this thing where I fall for you and then it doesn't add up to where I wanted it to be, and the next thing you know, I'm begging you to just give me that feeling, And that's exactly what happened to her last ex. She doesn't want that repeating history. Going into Walk On By is an interesting direction turn. We get samplings of Natalie Don't, which is really, really cool. It's cool to see a song that's on the album that gets sampled onto the next song. Kind of cool. This one is actually about her having a one-night stand with her ex, and that's pretty intense. So, but not uncommon as well. So this is something that happens with her. She sees this guy at this party, the ex at the party. She's like, maybe we can have a little, like, reunion kind of sex. So they do. They go back to her place, or back to his place. They do it. They have fun. She lays a kiss on his neck, and then she leaves the house. And she pretty much says, she's like, if you see me tonight, don't say hi, just walk on by. And I think what she's saying is that she kind of regrets doing that, but she also, I think she doesn't at the same time, because, and the idea is that she got something out of the way that she was probably feeling for a while, but now it reassures her that, yep, this is not where, I don't want to rekindle this. And that action showed me that. And one of the things that in proof that she says that, is that she says, don't you let it stop the peace I found without you. So she says, I am 1 year sober now from your lips. So pretty much saying that she pretty much has found some type of peace on her own, and she doesn't want it to be tore down backwards because of getting back with him when she knows it's not going to change. Finally, going into Love of Your Life I think it's a most official ending of acceptance. Like, she completely accepts herself, flaws and all, to the point where she says to this guy, she's like, I'm a bad London girl, raised in the South. I run my mouth and say shit that I don't really mean to say. But I can be the love of your life. Maybe I'll drive you mad, straight to the storm, because I love you. And it seems like she's accepting it. So she's like, I could be dramatic, I can be maddening, I can be a lot, but I could also be a great, great, great lover kind of thing. I think that's really, really great, because it feels like throughout the whole album, she was questioning herself, questioning what she did with him, and insecurities, and not really entirely blaming him entirely. It seems to be a lot more surrounding about what she does and stuff like that, which is really cool. But it comes to, like, conclusion when she finally is like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with me. This is how I am. If anybody wants to take me on in this direction, they're in for a ride of their life, and it's gonna be great, you know. And so I really, really like that. This is a great somebody called it an EP, but I think that due to the fact that there's albums that are 9 songs up to 12 that are called albums, I'm gonna say this is an album. So yeah, I really, really liked it. I give it a 9 out of 10. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell too to get more of my videos. And also, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.